All right, guys, how's it going? So the main man, Paul Joyce, published an article for the Times yesterday. I think it was last night, early evening or something like that. Arne Slot knows he must rotate to avoid more Champions League heartache. There's the article there if you want to Google it, take a look at it or whatever. As you know, when Paul Joyce speaks, I listen. I'm always looking for club messaging, a little bit of club propaganda, things like that. I always think to myself, what does Michael Edwards want me to know? Who does this article benefit, etc., etc., etc. Why am I reading it? I get excited with a Paul Joyce article, always. But from time to time, Paul Joyce puts out articles that are not, the club trying to put a message out there to another club, Crystal Palace regarding Mark Gay, for example. Sometimes they are just genuine, newsworthy articles. And that is the case with this one. Even when it's an article that's not to do with a potential transfer target or something, I always focus on the last couple of paragraphs. As you know, you can get little feelings sometimes from the article. So when that article came out yesterday, and I knew that it was to do with this evening's game, I immediately went to the bottom of the article, didn't read it. But no, there was nothing of any excitement in there. What we're going to do is we are just going to take a look at basically what the article says. And it is as follows. Summary and key points. I got Dave to do these for me, my AI assistant that I've been training to analyze news articles, the journalists that write them, and the publications that push them on us. And Dave basically picked out the summary and key points for us. Slot reflects on last season's Champions League exit to PSG, calling it the best game he's managed, but also unfinished business. Liverpool were the only team to take PSG to extra time penalties, used as confidence they can compete with the best. Alisson and Van Dijk both echo the hunger for European success. Slot admits he may need to rotate more often in Europe this season. Squad revamp in the summer was partly to give Slot more options for rotation. Isak could make his debut against Atletico after a £125 million move. Atletico missing Julian Alvarez through injury. Simeone in charge for his 744th game. UEFA's report underlined Atletico's defensive approach. Most players behind the ball in final third, basically. So taking a look at this, Dave's take, he just says this one is pretty straightforward dunk compared to some of Joyce's transfer-heavy pieces. It reads more like a scene-setting preview for the Champions League return than a boardroom brief message. Still a couple of things worth flagging. So when we talk about club messaging and propaganda, there isn't really, much in this article. I think it's a genuine article by Joyce. Even Dave says this isn't as loaded as the transfer briefings, but positive spin on the PSG defeat. Joyce frames it as Liverpool being the closest to beating the eventual champions. A subtle way of turning failure into a badge of honour. That's messaging to keep fan confidence high. Rotation talk. Slot openly pondering squad rotation ties neatly into the summer rebuild. Indirectly praising the execs for giving him more depth. A softer form of, see, this is why we did the window we did. Execs not mentioned by name, unlike the transfer breakdowns. There's no overt credit to Edwards and Hughes here, so less obvious PR for them. Isak debut tease, Joyce flags him right at the end, almost as a hook in the article. Not framed as pressure on the club, more excitement for fans. And the verdict was, the article feels pretty innocent in terms of club messaging, which I would agree with. It's a preview piece with Slot quotes, player sound bites, and a nod to Isak. The only real spin is the PSG exit, reframed as proof Liverpool are good enough to win it this year. The rotation squad depth line, which indirectly flatters the summer transfer business. No hard propaganda though, no direct threats, no exec worship. Just a subtle reinforcement that the rebuild has given Slot the tools to avoid a repeat of last year. And I think I would agree with that. I think it was just a genuine piece. I don't think... Well, it's obvious. No one said, can you tell the fans this, that, and the other? This is a genuine Paul Joyce article. Well, they're all genuine articles, but what I mean is, and I know that when the club has something to say, they need it out there, maybe to apply pressure on Crystal Palace, for example, regarding Gay, that, Joyce will be the man to be used. Obviously, we pay a lot of attention to David Ornstein as well, but Paul Joyce is the main man. He's the closest journalist to Liverpool Football Club. So the reason I'm making this article really is to say, hey, look, here's an article. The reason I'm making this article, did I say? The reason I'm making this video is for me to say, hey, look, guys, here's an article from Paul Joyce. It's clean, it's genuine reporting. There's no little hints at the bottom, because sometimes it could be, well, not little hints, little message, club messaging. Sometimes it could be an article like that. Oh, Liverpool about to take on Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. This is what they did in the summer, blah, blah, blah. Last couple of paragraphs, meanwhile, and then maybe there could be little, little hints and club messaging in the footer, if you like, of an article. But there's nothing. It's just a straight up, proper bit of journalist reporting for you. So I thought I would touch on it with you. It's not all about all the exciting stuff all the time. So, but there was nothing in the article, to point at anything else, And I think if I bumped into some of my Liverpool supporting friends and said, "Oh, there's a new Paul Joyce article out," the first thing they'd say to me was "We're out in it, Dung," but there isn't. All right, so I'm going to leave that with you. I hope you're looking forward to the game this evening. I was in the cafe this morning reviewing the Spanish football dailies for you, and those of you that follow my channel closely know that the cafe owner is an Atletico Madrid fan, and we had a little conversation in Spanish. It's paying off going there, and he was saying, I think Liverpool will be too strong for us tonight. He was talking about the various injuries and things, and the press is starting to put a bit of pressure on the manager at Atletico Madrid, saying keeping him in the job is if things don't go right, it enables the directors to let me think about what it said. Removing him as manager after such a long time as manager puts the board, if you like, at Atletico Madrid under pressure. If they're being criticised for anything, if the results are not going right at the moment, the manager's getting blamed for things, so it's taking the attention off them. They've invested really heavily in Atletico Madrid, and there's a kind of a suggestion, in Spain that investment has been done because of a potential club sale, which makes you think about Liverpool, right? Because Liverpool invested wisely in the summer, and people are saying, is that because they're planning on exiting, etc., etc. I'm sure you're not too bothered about what's going on at Atletico Madrid. Anyway, I just want to mention one thing on the members website today. Shout out to my VIP members. There was a video clip posted by Rich, which was Talk Sport, and I've got to be honest, I sat there watching it. I was fucking raging. I listen. It's on YouTube. Go and have a look. If you want to, search it. It is on Talk Sport Radio's channel. And the title of the video is "Who Do You Think You Are?" Simon Jordan slams Arne Slot for entitled reaction after Burnley clash. It's about 9 minutes long, just over 9 minutes long. Like I say, I was fucking raging when I watched that. Go and have a look at it. I can't stand that fucking Jim White, to be honest with you. Anyway, let's not get stressed. Hope you enjoyed the game this evening. I just wanted to update you about the Paul Joyce article. And I'll speak to you later, guys. All right? If you found the video remotely interesting, I mean, it's not exciting, please thumbs up the video. If you've got anything to say, you've got a nice comment, please drop one. As you know, if you want to support my channel, you can buy me a beer or a coffee. There's a love heart under the video called a super thanks. I always give a shout out to people that do that in my morning briefings. On my other YouTube channel, the link to that channel is in the video description. It's called the Duncan Oldham channel. And it will also be on the screen around now as well. Massive shout out to my channel members as well. Those of you that have joined the channel, I've got some additional content coming up for you guys real soon. All right, cheers guys, enjoy the game.